You mentioned how green you were when you joined the flock. How many matches in did you have under your belt when you wrestled Benoit on Live Nitro?
Benoit was my Benoit was my probably third or fourth match
Ever.
ever.
Ever. Like,
Uh,
dude, that's just insane. Because you gotta, like, for someone like me, well, I did WWF TV back in the day, which was in front of a lot of people. Most of my matches were in front of 25 people. You know, you learn you're in front of 20 million people with Chris Benoit. What was that like?
Crazy. I mean, but it was in a sense of like where I knew I was. I mean, I was more like, God, this is Chris Benoit, and I knew this was a big moment for me, and I was like, okay, I need to really, I need to make this my WrestleMania main event.
Right.
Even though it's WCW, but it's like that big of a deal. That's kind of how I thought about it. But I was like, I felt comfortable. With the Lance Ringo immediately, as soon as I walked out there, I was like, this is what I'm supposed to do. Like, this is
Right.
what I meant to do because it was just very comfortable. I didn't pay attention to the crowd. I didn't pay attention to the cameras. I was just like, I know what I got to do. I know what we're doing. And I went, and it was just, it felt good. I was more nervous before. Like it's like before you go out. I think a lot of guys are
Right.
like kind of,
Of course.
and
Yeah.
it's more that just anxious kind of like,
Yeah.
okay, you're ready to go. There's butterflies, it's a big, Um,
Yep. Yep.
yeah, but see, to me, it's easier doing that than working in front of 30 people.
I see what
Give,
you mean. Yeah.
give me 100,000 people. Give
Right.
me 500,000 people in a ring. That's easier for me than in a small setting,
Right.
an intimate setting where they're right there. I was more nervous doing those shows, which I ended up and did later on, um, than doing big arenas. But Benoit was just, yeah, that was like that. To me, that was one of my best matches. As far as
Right.
TV goes, um, and he was very gracious in giving me spots.
Right.
And he
Right.
was he was I don't know he, was he Four Horsemen at that time or was that earlier? I think that was
I'm
earlier,
not
right?
sure. Yeah.
I'm not
I'm
sure.
not sure.
I think that was maybe like early, but he was still on that. You know,
Sure.
he was an up there guy, and plus it's
Right.
Benoit. I knew him prior, his career prior too. So, um, and I love the match because he's physical, and see, I like physical work. I like a guy that in the sense of he's 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 stiff when he needs to be, he's solid when he needs to be, but he's not
Right.
he's not putting you in a compromising situation.
Right. He's not breaking your teeth. He's not breaking your nose.
No, he's ultra. Just he hits everything on the mark, and it's hard.
Right.
You know, and it's like, yeah, thumb me across the back as hard as you want to, chop me as hard as you want to, lay
Sure.
it in as long as it's not in one of the hot spots. Which, yeah,
How much?
he
How much of the match did Chris talk over? Was he a call it in the ring guy? I never worked Chris.
No, we did. The only thing we discussed, he asked me, kind of like, hey, obviously, he goes, I've seen some of your stuff, not a lot, and um, of course, we talked about springboard drop kick, and I said, well, maybe I put like a springboard a leg drop or something we'll miss. I think we did in there. We discussed things like that, and like
Mhm.
back springboard elbow that I do inside the ring. The only thing I really suggested to him, because he asked my opinion, which I thought was really cool, because a lot of guys just be like, "Here's what we're doing.
Right.
This is what you're going to do." And I said, if you don't mind, I said I think it'd be really cool since you're supposed to work Raven, and he substitutes me in because of Raven's rules. It would be, I think it'd be pretty hot if I charge in and just start chopping me right out of the gate. Like just light me up with chops. I'll bump, chop, bump, chop. And he goes, I like that. And he goes, and then we'll just kind of go from there. And I think the only spot we had in there was we'll put that springboard elbow in there, and he called it, when to hit it. And we just kind of
Mhm.
did some fighting, and we just did a little bit of wrestling. This is like kind of some fisticuffs, and then we rolled out of the ring. And other than the finish, that was it.
You want to plug anything? If promoters want to reach you, if anyone wants to get in touch with you?
Right now, it's Facebook. Scott Vick, actually, I don't. It's not Sick Boy. It's Scott Vick on Facebook. And then Instagram is Scott Sick Boy Vick on Instagram.